Hey y'all, this is TCA Gaming, and in this video I'm going to show you guys a PSA returns, and this is probably, I would say, the worst PSA return that I've had in from what I was expecting versus what I got. And I'm not too angry about it, but I'm going to show it to you guys, and I'm going to kind of talk to you about why I think it was bad for what I was expecting, but why also I'm not too angry about it. So I'm gonna start off with free code for somebody. So I got a few more to give out, but not too many. So as a preface, what we have here, this entire video is non-holographic base first edition cards. Yeah, base first edition non-holographics. And I'm going to show you this very first one. This is a PSA 7 Beedrill, and that's not a piece of white. That's like a little speck under the case. See one little white dot right there. Maybe a little bit of whitening there. And hopefully, being a 7, I missed something here. But every card in this submission was from my personal collection. I had a non-holographic set that I used to keep in a binder that was mint, and then I also had several. I had lots of backstock non-holographic first editions. Got some 9s here. Look at that. And usually non-holographic cards grade pretty easily. In the past, when I've graded first edition base set, I've usually got about 50% or higher. Sometimes as high as like 80-90% on non-holographics for getting gem mint 10s. Well, with this submission, most likely my title is already given away. I pulled one gem mint 10 out of the entire submission, and I'm going to show you guys all the cards now. I think they were pretty rough on some of these grades, but I'll be honest with you, it's kind of expected. Like this right here, to me, I can see why it's an 8. I totally get it. The front looks very clean, looks nice. The back side, you look at the top edges, they don't look too bad. But then you hit those bottom edges, you can see some whitening around both of the bottom corners. That first 7, I'm not really sure on that one. There might be some kind of surface sting. It's very possible that I just missed some damage on these cards. And it just happened to be on all of them that I was missing it. I have not went through each individual card, looked at it up and down. Like this one, I see why it's an 8. The bottom had some extra whitening on it. I did pull out a handful of cards, and I was trying to figure out, if I would have given a 10 to some of these. And in most cases, if you look really hard, you can find, a white dot here or there or something that would have kept it from getting the 10. Now, it used to be the case that, with the 10, you could have a couple white dots here and there, but I think with the increase in how well cards are printed now, a lot of this vintage stuff, they don't factor that in. They may. Some graders may. I'm just not sure that all of the new hires do, or they're able to. Maybe they're told, if you find something, find some whitening on the back of that card, you don't give it a 10. I really have no idea what's going on inside the company. But I would tell you, I was surprised. This is very different. I was not expecting to get a 217 card order back without a single. Well, I just had one. There is 110. We'll see it here in a little bit. And then also at the very end of the submission, I was surprised that some of the cards that got 7s. Like, we're going to compare that first 7 to the last 7. Maybe we should pull out 3 or 4 7s along the way. Now, all of these cards, you can kind of tell, these are sequential because, like, there's 41, here's number 42. This is a War Turtle number 7. PSA 7, that's part of the flap, not the card. Maybe we'll compare that one. Because, like I said, these were in my personal set binder. I remember grading all the hollows. I got a couple 10s out of the hollows when I graded them. And the non-hollows I saved because I already had them in PSA 10 condition. Or I had most of them, and then I just kind of picked up the holes here and there. Now, I know, a lot of people say, certain things haven't changed. I'll say this. To me, things have changed at PSA. Who knows, what? I think it's almost like a gradual evolution over time. And because there are plenty of cards that are in the 51 million. Is that what that is? 51 million, 60s, 70 millions probably. That, you know, are graded higher than what they should be. Same thing on the low end. But you take this same submission and you submit it 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, you're going to get more than one gem at 10. And I'm not saying that that is... I bet you if I broke every single one of these cards out and I submitted them the exact same way, I'd probably get more than one gem at 10. So I'm not saying that overall, you know, everything has changed at PSA. I'm saying I think I got a really strict grader. This is probably the most strict grader that I've ever had, and it wasn't so much strict on the sense of like, you can't get every 8 is a 9, every 9 is a 10, but that just, he was hard on the 10s. You can see right here, you've got both versions. Let's see. Yeah, I think there's just one little tiny, that little white dot down there. Let's see about this 8. Yeah, see, I agree with an 8. Anytime you have like whitening on the long parts of the card, I believe it's going to be hard to give it, you know, a 9 or a 10. But there's other cards in here too that I'm wondering, like, how did they even get a 7? So let me pull out a few more 7s along the way. These are going to probably be for sale. I end up just auctioning some of them off. But it's pretty cool to see all these first edition cards come back. And overall, when you first see an entire non-holographic submission like this, and you see one PSA 10, you know, you get a little upset. But you know, the more I look at it, I understand, you know, why there's not more 10s. Because most of these 9s, you can find, you know, a little something that made that grader say, you know what, it's not a PSA 10. Let's put this Volta. We're not even going to look at it just yet. We'll look at it there at the end. The reason I want to examine the 7s is because that's where it gets murky with other grading companies. Like, if you can look at their 7s and they're consistent there, that's tough. That's hard to do. 9s, yeah, I can see that. 10s, you know, that's where people are going to get the most angry. That's where you're going to fill it out, you know, with the company. I think that's CGC's problem. They're just too stingy with that 10. Pull that out. Same thing with Beckett. I mean, that's why they don't have any more demand. It's just a little too much stinginess going on with that PSA 10. There's a Devolution spray. We'll set that one off to the side. Poster Professor Oak. Item Finder. Last. That's a tough 10, but I mean, I won't even look at the back on this one and I would say, yeah, this is going to be a max 9 because it's off center. I mean, you can see it's kind of shifted up to the left, and PSA's, I think they factor that in a lot more than they used to. Pokemon Breeder, Pokemon Trader. I'm not going to set too many 7s off to the side. Like, we'll just put this Defender over here. Energy Retrieval, Full Heal. And the reason I'm pulling these off, like I said, is because I want to show you guys that you can have, you know, 7s that probably could have been 8s or 9s, and then you're going to have 7s that probably could have been 5s or 6s, even within a submission like this. You know, it's really tough. I don't know how they grade, but I imagine they do get fatigued. I'm getting fatigued just showing you guys these cards, and I'm not having to examine each one of them. Energy Removal, Gust of Wind, Potion. And they're having to do this day in, day out, all the time. Oh, I saw something there. There's some energies. If you don't get a 10 on energy, you probably didn't do that great. Alright, so that finishes out the set. Now I had some extras that are set in boxes. There's a 9 on an Ivysaur. There's a 6 on a Beedrill. Oh yeah. See, look at that. I mean, that could have easily been like a 4. It's like, what is that? Damage to the surface? I mean, it's got like 4 or 5 spots like that, but I guess because it didn't have like a bend or anything like that. There's a 9. Yeah, and that's got 2 or 3 white dots. 9 on the Beedrill Dragonair. Off center a little bit, got a couple little white dots there. Here we got the Doug Trio, Electro. There's a Pidgeotto set. We'll put him over there. Arcanines. Now, what's cool is I've actually got more of these first edition cards that were pulled out of the same box, same kind of condition as the rest of these. Like the first, what is it, 86 cards that you saw, the non-holos, that was all from like a personal mint set, and then the rest of it was kind of like all from the same stock. So I'm curious to see when the rest of those first edition non-holographics come back, is it going to be the same? Is it going to be like a variety of, you know, mostly 8s and 9s, a few 7s and 6s mixed in, you know, with your lone PSA 10. So that'd be kind of cool to look at and analyze. Dugong used to be such an easy 10. Look at, got a bunch of 9s, 7. All right, so we're actually through half of them. We got another box. For those of you who do not like PSA returns, you might want to tune out because we just got more of what we had. I'm gonna go a little faster though since it has been 11 minutes. 9, 9, 9, 9. You still haven't seen the 10 yet, have you? 9, 9, 7. For those of you who have graded a lot of base first edition, you could probably guess what one of the cards the 10 would be at, because it's one that is much more common, easy to get in the 10. Look at all these 9s on Growlithe. 8, 8, 9. This is one of the only submissions I've had recently come back that didn't have any customer cards on it. Bunch of 9s here. 9, 9, 9. You'd think I'd luck out. Oh, look at that. I did pull one Gem Mint 10, and it was on this Kakuna. And what's cool is you can actually see this is a gray print. And I think Gem Mint, he's actually working on the 3D stamps. That's kind of one of those there. Another 9, 9, 9, 9. I mean, because Kakuna was one of those cards like Kakuna, Raticate, Porygon. Those are some of the really uncommon cards that you can get in first edition. Machoke, 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 Machoke. I don't even know the value of these 8s and 9s anymore. I know PSA 10s have come down quite a bit. There's a 7. We'll look at that one too. 3 7s in a row. 9, 9. There's a 6. And we got, see, we just flew through half of that second box in 2 minutes. So we'll get through these and then we'll do a quick examination of some of those cards. There's some more 9s. I mean, it doesn't get too exciting. Nidorino, he was one of those that you could always find a bunch of. You can see some more Nidorinos, more Poliwhirls. We have like a 4 or 5 or something like that in here. I'll check that out. Makes me wonder if this guy was like a BGS grader or something, because they rarely go below like a 6. Poliwhirl, he was pretty common too. Oh yeah, got bunches of them here. 8s and 9s. Here's a Porygon. I wonder how many Porygons there. Well, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That wasn't too bad. Looks like we have more of the Raticate. And this is going to end with the Wartortle. Seal. There's a 6, and there's a 7 and an 8, so I didn't get a 9 on those. Alright, so let's, I think I pulled out too many 7s. So let's look. Alright, so if I was just looking at the condition of the front and the back and, saying I can't see the surface very well, I would say this is probably going to be like max a 5 or a 6. Just because of how bad the surface is right here. They still gave it a 7 as a near mint, but I don't think anybody would get away with selling that as near mint, even on eBay raw. So this one, to me, it's graded high. Like, it's graded higher than it should be. Alright, this Pokemon Trader. Overall, it doesn't look too bad when you're first looking at it, but like I can see up top, it's got edge wear there, and it's almost like it's got something going on with the surface there. So I think this is about right for a 7 for a graded card. Devolution Spray, this is a 7. You got some whitening right there. here, here, here. So 7 again. I think that's about right. You know, then we have this Machoke that has, must have got a piece of cardboard in between the case when I put the sleeve on it. This one has heavier wear for sure. You can see it there on that corner. They're pretty rough on these edges. You know, we've already looked at this bead-draw. I don't know why this one got a 7. I think that I could be missing something on it, possibly with like a ding in the surface, like super light. Because I've had that happen before with cards, and I'm like, yeah, there's no way this is a 6, you know. And then I crack it open, and I'm like, crap. If I send this back in, it's probably the exact same grade. Same with this one. I think that's good for a 7. Super heavy edge wear on the top. Let's look at this War Turtle. This one isn't too bad. Maybe we'll compare it to the other War Turtle. There's a Dugong. Not too bad, but because how heavy that is, I can see definitely how that would not get an 8. Got a 6 on the Squirtle. Oh yeah. See, that's got a corner bend right there. I think. Or that may be the case. We'd be able to see it on this side. Yeah, I think there is something there. So that's probably why that got knocked down. Alright, so we have a 6 on this War Turtle. Ooh, wow. That is rough. Look how heavy that edge wear is. To me, that's about... I wonder if the guy who was doing this saw that none of these had bends or dings or that kind of stuff, so or anything like that, and you know they minimum get a 6 with that, because I mean if you're going by fraying on the corners and edges and stuff, you know there's no way to me that this would be an excellent near mint. I mean this is pretty rough. And then this 7, oh yeah, it's got some surface issues. So like if you're looking at, you know, comparing this one to that one, I would say, you know, for sure that this one is in much better condition than this one, but you can see that they both have the same professional grade. But you know, there's going to be some kind of variation even between the same grade, same set, non-hollows, you know, from the same grader. And you know, that's just going to be natural. So it is going to happen at times. You have to understand that. And especially if you're grading, it happens to everyone. You can't get too upset or too hurt when you don't get back the exact grade that you want. For the most part, all of this stuff right here, you know, I would say 80% or better, you know, probably the same grade that I would give. But at the end of the day, you're paying for a subjective grade, so it's going to differ. And you got to understand, you're looking through a different pair of sunglasses when you're grading your own card. Like, I guarantee if I pull this bead-roll out, and I see that there was something on here, I'm going to regret, you know, pulling it out and wish I just would have sold it at 7, because I can't grade it for the same price that I already graded it at. So, I mean, there's definitely no reason for me to crack anything here unless I just saw something that was, like, super gem minty and there'd be a huge uptick in value. Like, there was a, you know, a War Turtle, for example, that was a 9. And it's like, man, I know this can get a 10. Because most of these cards, when you grade them, you're not paying for, like, the express level grading fee. You're paying for a bulk grading fee. So that's in general for cards that are low value. They're supposed to go through, give a quick opinion, and you know, put it in that slab. You know, it's gonna. I'm sure it's gonna change, but I mean, I might have paid for, you know, $8 to $10 for this card to be graded. See, that includes the case, that includes the time, all the putting into the system, the registry, the insurance on the card. So think about what you're really paying for there. And there's a reason why this stuff, the bulk stuff, has a tendency to be a little bit farther off in the consistency with the grades. But overall, I'm not, you know, too upset. I wish I would have got more 10s, but we'll see what happens with the next PSA first edition sub that I get back, where I sent a bunch of them in there. I can't remember which one it was, but I know I've got more out there, and we'll see if it changed for the commons and the commons and maybe some rare trainers. I can't remember if I kept them all in numerical order or not. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and be on the lookout. Maybe this stuff will be in consignment, or consignment, some stuff be an auction very soon.